The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
Good morning. It's time for Cowboys Storyline. I'm your host, Nick Eatman. It's Wednesday, December the 6th, and it is time to talk about the Cowboys and Eagles, even though we've been talking about it for a long time, since the last time they faced off. That's what happens when you have a rivalry like this, and it should be a good one this Sunday. You know, the Eagles obviously coming off a big loss to the 49ers, but, you know, if you want to say, hey, Look how they lost the game. Maybe there's a crack in the armor a little bit. Just remember this: the Cowboys did the same thing against San Francisco. They lost. They went up there and lost, and came back. And a lot of people were looking at this team sideways, wondering, well, what's going to happen with this team? It's a huge game coming up against the Chargers on the Monday night, going into the bye week. Kellen Moore, a lot of emotion. The Cowboys had to go win that game, and they did. So just remember, you know, the Eagles are probably feeling a lot of that as well. Let's see how they respond. It's not going to be easy. Just because they lost to the 49ers doesn't mean you can do that, because we've seen what the Cowboys can do against a healthy San Francisco team. I think right now that's I don't think it's really a debate. I think it's the best team in football. They've been beat. And you know, they have to stay healthy as well. But it'll be fun to see what happens here this Sunday night game with the Eagles and how they come in here. And the Cowboys are obviously red hot since they lost to Philly, 4 straight wins. All right. 888-855-2297. That's the phone line. The text line is 817-290-3298. We'll see if we can get some text messages today. We're obviously, we love the phone calls around here. Get a chance to interact with you guys as well. And we're going to start it off. We got Tyrone in Georgia as our first caller of the day. Tyrone, what's up?
Hey, Nick.
Hey.
How you doing? First-time caller.
All right. You know what that means here we go. What do you got?
All right. Hey, I've been a fan since we had to go camp out in Tyler State Park. One of my first memories of the Cowboys playing was beating Detroit 5-0.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's taking it back.
Yeah, back in the days of Dandy Don and the Bullet.
All right.
Anyway, I wanted to say how much I enjoy your show. I watched your first one in California. I was admittedly a little bit skeptical, but you have quickly become my favorite.
Well, thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with it. You know, the California show, different than this, obviously, with getting a chance with the phone calls. We did get some players out there, and we'll do that again. I'm going to put Chris to test, up to task here to see what he can do at training camp, if we can get some callers out there. We'll see what we can do there. But thanks for sticking with it, and I appreciate that.
All right. The comment I have, or the question I have is, I think the schedule is setting up really good to go into the playoffs. It's what you want to see. I'm confident in everything except for I'm concerned about the running game, both on the offense and defense. You always hear that's the one ingredient to have success in the playoffs. And the question is, what can we do to improve at this stage of the season, if anything?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's obviously not too late to make adjustments and things like that. But as far as like wholesale changes to stop the run and to run the ball better, you know, I don't think it's that huge of a problem where you have to make major changes. I think it's a problem that you know could hurt them in games, but I don't know. I think that might be more of a week-to-week personnel type thing, scheme versus scheme, as opposed to they just can't run it all. Because we've seen this team have some success running it. It's moderate, but that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to throw the ball around to their playmakers, and I think that's what's working right now. But you're right. You get these colder weather games, you get to the playoffs, it might be tougher to throw. You are going to have to figure out ways to move the football. So I'm not dismissing the issue. I don't know if it's to the point where you've got to go and sign other players and maybe change the personnel around. I think it's more of a week-to-week scheme thing.
Right.
That's what I think.
You're right on there. I mean, it's late in the season to even be bringing people in, so you pretty much have what you have. And
right.
And I'd like to see a little bit more outside running. I hate the first series of the game when they run the ball and get 1 yard and then run it again and get 2 yards, and then they go to the pass and they're successful. But that's just my comment on that.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling. Thanks for, like I said, thanks for staying with us and getting through those first few days of Oxnard. We were just trying to feel out the way and on how we were going to do this. So I appreciate that. I think it's really coming together, and thank you so much. And the game you were talking about, I looked this up. It was a divisional playoff game against Detroit in 1970. They won 5-0 in the divisional round. Can you imagine if an NFL game right now would be 5-0 in the playoffs? The network and the league would lose their mind if a game like that happened. It may be when it comes to weather, it might be the case. All right, let's. And I just see where Chris Beam has thrown that stat at me like that. Appreciate that. Thanks. I was trying to see what you were texting me or sending me a message. Same thing. Appreciate it. I looked it up myself, Chris. That's okay. All right, Dominic in Odessa, Texas. What's up?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good, man. Glad to finally make it to be able to call in.
Is this your first call?
Yeah, this is my first call. I listen all the time to the whole Cowboy Nation network. So.
Yeah, this is your first time with StoryLine. All right. Here we go. So what's going on with you?
Not much, man. Just working.
What do you think?
Big fan of all you guys. I just want to make it quick. I know you're on a time crunch. I just want to see Dak continue to play at the level that he's playing. I just wanted to see what your thoughts were.
Mm-hmm.
People were pretty upset with him, during that slump, especially last year when he threw interceptions. I've always been a Dak fan since he took over for Romo. So, I was always sticking up for him, and then came to a point, especially in the 49ers loss, the 2 times or 3 times, when he lost, people were upset. I was pretty upset, but, he stepped up his game, and I just want to see him, play that level again, this weekend. I don't know if, being a dad has a lot to do with that, but whatever it is, I just want to see him continue,
Yeah. I think, there's a lot of, you could say that he's got I guess, new changes in his life, right? In his personal life.
Right.
And I don't know if that's helping him or not. Who knows? You'll never really know that. It's a lot of different things. I think, I think he's maturing as a quarterback, not as a person, not as a man. I mean, because he's always been that when he stepped in the door here. But I'm saying as a quarterback, he's kind of figuring out different ways. And to be fair, whether you're on a Romo side or Dak's side, or you loved both of them or whatever, Romo did the same thing. Romo got to that point. He even admitted that he got to that point about 2013 or 14 of his career when he really understood how to throw the ball in different windows, different things. He understood how to play the game. And that was, he was 10 years in the league when that happened. So it happens. I just think Dak is just maturing. He's playing his best football. He blocks out the noise. And he's going to need to block out the praise as well, because that can be just as loud and just as distracting if you let it.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like you said, Romo got to that point. His body wasn't able to keep him, in it much longer. And, I'm glad to see Dak be able to get to that level, especially after that horrible injury back in 2020. So I appreciate you. I'm a fan of all you guys. So thanks for letting me call.
Thank you, Dominic. Appreciate that. And glad we had 2 first-time callers to start off the show. Maybe a third here. Let's get it rolling here with Esteban in Austin is next. What's up?
Hey, just love the show. This is a first-time caller.
There we go.
Awesome.
I appreciate the pause there too. I mean, you listened to the show. You like waited for it. I like that. Last couple, I've been talking over it, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've listened to everything you've done for the last 15 years.
Thank you.
And I love everything, all the content you guys put out on the website, and I'm really happy that you got your show and all the success you've been having. Man, that's
Thank
awesome.
you. I appreciate that. How's the? Are we talking Cowboys in Austin, or are we? Is there excitement? Is it kind of subdued a little bit since the Longhorns are just Longhorns all the time?
Oh, it's all about the Longhorns right now. Here, we're. I think we're going to take it this year, and we'll see. I feel good about our chances against Washington. But the city's definitely got a lot of excitement for the game coming up.
I went to the game the other day, the Big 12 championship game against Oklahoma State, and I'm not a big fan of either team at all. I went with some Texas fans, and I was like, I thought Texas was going to blow them out, which they did. I mean, they just look really, really good right now. So, I'm excited for them. A lot of Texas people up here, Derek Eagleton being one of them. So, I think, there's no reason not to root for them right now. But, they're going to go into the SEC next year, so I will not be rooting for them when that happens. But that's okay. All right.
Yeah, I feel good about them. I feel good about the Cowboys' chances this weekend against the Eagles. I think they had them on the ropes last time they met, and I think being at home, I think they got a really good chance.
Yeah, I agree.
But I wanted to ask you about your opinion on the job McCarthy's been doing since he came here.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been doing awesome. I was kind of skeptical the first year when they had a lot of losses, but also too this year I was kind of upset that Kellen Moore had left. And now that we've kind of seen how it's played out, I think McCarthy kind of won that debate, that he had the right to take over as play caller.
Yep. I think he's winning it. He's winning it. Here's the thing, though, about McCarthy. Did you have another point? You have anything else? No? Okay. Well, thank you for the call, Esteban. I appreciate that. Good luck to the Longhorns there as well, and thank you for getting in and supporting our shows. As for McCarthy, I agree that he's done a really nice job overall as a head coach. One thing that the fans don't ever see this or hear this or probably even care, directly, is the fact that he takes care of the players. He takes care of them, gets them off their feet. The schedule's lighter than it probably would be for other teams. He does a really good job of kind of getting a good feel for what is the team thinking, what's the pulse, what do they need? They need some time off here or there. Let's keep them off their feet for this day. We just got in late. I mean, he really does a good job with that. And I think that the players appreciate it, and I think it's a case by case thing too. Not everybody gets treated the same. Not everyone plays the same. Not everyone gets paid the same. So not everybody can take a Wednesday and Thursday off like Tyron Smith. He's earned that right, and it helps him, and it helps the team, and it helps Dak, and so we're going to keep doing it. I think he does a good job of kind of getting the pulse of the team and of a game. If you notice, he does things a little bit differently week to week. Sometimes He'll take the ball early in the game. Sometimes he wants to have a different plan of we run the ball more here. He does a good job of saying what's in front of me and how do I coach this right here. I'll say this though too, like he hasn't had a lot of games this year where he's managed the game and calling plays at the same time. It just hasn't happened. You haven't seen that a whole lot. It happened the other day against Seattle. And there was questionable play there. I mean, with throwing the ball into the end zone instead of taking your 43 seconds off the clock. I would have taken the time off. I think we all saw that. It worked out. Micah Parsons made a play. The defense, made sure that they got off the field and won the game against Seattle. But I think that's another example of you haven't done that a lot this year. And that's something that, it didn't hurt him last time, but there will be some games when you kind of wonder how that's going to be. I think he's done a great job managing the games, calling the plays. He's done a really good job. Just know that that's going to happen. Probably a lot more here later on is just calling plays, tight games, that kind of stuff. I doubt the Cowboys will be winning some of these games by a lot or losing by a lot. I think we're starting to get to a stretch. There are going to be a lot of close games. All right, let's go to Chris in Pennsylvania as our next caller. Chris.
Nick, how you doing this morning?
Good. How are you, man?
Excellent. Very psyched about Sunday. I can't wait.
Yeah, you know a few Eagle fans that you work with or live next to or whatever. I mean, there's probably a lot of Steeler and Eagle fans where you are.
Well, you are 100% correct on that. My daughter's an Eagles fan, and my ex-wife is a Giants fan. So that tells you where I'm at in the family.
Well,
but it's funny because I remember you've been, like, over the last couple of weeks, you've been talking about, like, early memories. I just wanted to hit it real quick. My earliest memory, it was the best one when Danny White punted. Like, I can still, that was the only thing for when I was a kid. Like, I loved him since I was 10 years old, and I'm 55.
okay.
But that's the earliest thing that I can remember is Danny White punting. And I'm just, like, watching it. And my father was a Giants fan, and we're looking at each other like, wow. Like, it was just pretty impressive. Like, I always loved Danny. I thought he was a classy guy, good quarterback, and to be able to do that. Now, that being said, I know it has nothing to do with what I'm going to ask you. The waiver wire. I just didn't understand why, if Dallas wanted this guy, Shaq,
Yeah.
why wouldn't they have picked him up on the waiver wire?
Claimed him. Yeah.
Right. I have no problem going past him. Maybe they had thoughts of, hey, maybe there might be somebody else down the road, but because I know with the waiver, you pick him up, now you go to the bottom of the list. I mean, was that their thinking that maybe there was somebody better coming along later?
No. The thinking is when you claim a player, you claim his contract, as is. That contract right then and there, and you claim everything that the Colts signed, and you're getting that. That's what they didn't want to do, and that's what it had a base salary that probably was pretty high to hit on your books right now. You get a new contract, and then you can start from there. And the Eagles didn't claim him either. Nobody claimed him. So
right, because it was so high.
There's a reason for that. But I think it also speaks a little bit more volumes too of like, I don't think the Cowboys or any team really, really, really wanted him. I think that he could have helped, but everyone's fine. And if he goes and makes go ahead, Chris.
I believe I'm fully with you on that. Like, I was on the Shaq train for a while, but listening to all the podcasts, your guys, and all you guys made so much sense about this. Yes, he had issues in the past. You get him, you don't know what you have. Yes,
right.
He could pass a physical. You don't know what's going to happen to him. He could go in there and play 2 snaps. Guess what?
Right.
He's cooked. So, with the injury history, I'd say it was a smart move. They pitched this. If we got him, great. We didn't, so be it. I'm happy with our guys. I'm very proud of how they worked, as hard as they've done.
Right.
And I think we have a very good team. Very good team. Compared to, like, the last several years. Dak, you got to give him the credit. All the credit work, him and Mike McCarthy. I mean, how they've been doing everything, and I'm proud of them. I mean, I really, really am.
I am too. I mean, I'm proud of what what he's done, and this doesn't get mentioned a lot for usually it's an injury position injury award, and I don't know who's out there that would get this, but I mean, Dak's getting talked about for MVP, but why not comeback player of the year? Because yes, he was injured a little bit, but a comeback is a comeback, regardless of what you're coming back from.
Sure.
And I think Dak has made a huge comeback from – think about how people are talking about him. And, now if Aaron Rodgers comes back and plays it this year, that maybe he will get that award. I don't know. I really don't know about that award. I'm just thinking I think Dak, the turnaround here is amazing. And right now he's in the conversation for MVP, and that's the one you'd want him to get if possible. But I just think it's been amazing. So it really is.
Sure.
So thanks.
Well, listen, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for taking my call, and I really do love this show, and
Thanks.
I'm glad you got it put on.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. Need the support from guys like you. I appreciate that. We're having a lot of fun doing it, and I love just the random. People say random games or random memories or players or even just situations like Danny White punting. That was cool. I'll say this: you don't see it anymore like as a starter, but I'll say this, and I've heard coaches say this, offensive coaches. The first thing they do during fall football and whatever, they take their quarterbacks and they make sure they can punt. Every quarterback, I think, should know how to punt a little bit because it's a weapon if you think about it. You're sitting at midfield and it's third and or even fourth down, 4th and 8, and it's that no man's land. Maybe they're going to go for it. Maybe they don't. You put your offense on the field. Now the safety has to kind of play it honest. No one's back. It's 4th and 8. And then next thing you know, the quarterback takes 2 steps back, gets the snap, punts it. There's no one back there. And even the people that are back there probably aren't used to taking a punt. They're not going to touch it. They let it roll. If he can get it to roll, now, instead of going for it on 4th and 8, you punted with nobody catching it back there, could pin them deep. I think it's a weapon to have. And so Danny White was able to do it. I don't know if they did trick plays or plays like that off of it, but I do think every quarterback should be able to punt because there's some times when it really does favor them. All right. Not sure that really matters to this week at all, but I just wanted to throw that out there. All right, Anthony in Miami is next. Anthony, what's up?
Nick the Quick, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up? I heard a little bit of that last part. If there was ever a question or trivia thing, it would have been something with Danny White. Because he's one of the most going to be top 5 underrated Cowboys ever because of the fact that he was a weapon like that. He could punt, he could run. 3 straight NFC championships. I mean, and everybody talking about replacing legends. Look who he replaced.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, man. Danny White, underrated, man. Great. So whoever brought that up or whatever, I just heard the last part of it. Great call.
Yeah.
Okay. We could do the dag. Here we go. We start out. Here we go. That's what I'm going to talk about. Man, the defense. No Deron Bland bashing. I'm a Deron Bland fan. The last time I called, I think I congratulated Jimmy and them. Okay, now it's time to congratulate Mr. Bland. It's time to congratulate my quarterback on announcing the birth of his child. Mr. Bland, I don't know if you listen to this show, man, you are a gem. You are what we needed after we losing an all-pro like we did this year. I don't care about a cornerback giving up some yardage. Man, come on, man. The receivers that you're going to play, you're playing top-notch guys, man. Best at their position, man, every week. And for him to do what he's done and the record that he's broken, man, and we go a game and a half where he gave us some yardage. Well, I don't even think the receiver, I don't know what Metcalf ended up with, but he probably wouldn't have got as much as he got to take the 73-yarder away because that wasn't even Bland's fault. So I don't like people, hitting that man up like that. That man has been something we've needed, man. That man has done something that's never been done. So he's a cornerback. He's going to give us some yardage. So on that one, I didn't like some of the things I've been hearing about, lately cornerbacks have been No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, I brought up the last time I called the safety. And then I brought up the safety play. So I'm cursed. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if number 30, what's his name, Thomas, is ready. I don't know if Israel is ready. But, man, Donovan keeps trying to guess like he's guessing and guessing wrong, and Jerron Kearse is out of position all the time. You watch him, man, it's kind of bad. Mm-hmm. Somebody said something about he may have stepped up lately, last couple of games. I don't know. Somebody's telling a story. Because, man, he's looking bad back there, and we can't have that right now. It's supposed to be like Nate says, man. It's supposed to be like glue right now.
Yeah.
We cannot lose. I'm one of the most positive Cowboy callers there is and defend everybody. Mm-hmm. But, man, we can't lose to the Eagles, man, because, number one, nobody wants to hear it anymore. And it won't be fair. You may lose the exact same way you lost last time. You may lose by 1 point this time. And, it may not really be defense. They just drove and did their job. But nobody's going to want to hear it. So I don't know what you got to do in practice. You better not really lose. You better focus. You're doing your podcast, not you. Other people constantly doing these things and talking about other things, man. You better be making sure everybody stays later or whatever they need to do because you got a gauntlet. That's true. And you better beat this team. No more discipline problems. No more losing it in the last minute, the last drive, because when you're on the 2 and 3 yard line, you get pushed back 25 yards. We can't allow that anymore. And last but not least, Nick, it's been about 6 weeks now since I think I talked to you for the first time, and you laughed and you said, I want to watch the game, but that got to be fun to watch it and all that. Remember that? You remember when you was on the show on Hanging? You remember what we talked about? My call was to that. So I didn't even notice. One of my barbershop guys brought this up to me. He was like, no, my boy Ant need to get credit. That's what they call me, Ant. Needs to get credit for that, doing that, because he's the one that called Michael Gallup out. Now the man can't get the ball and all that. I laughed a little bit, but I was like, you know what? It's kind of true. All right. Brandon Cooks is taking off.
Yeah.
CD is getting that thing, and being showing that he's the all-pro if we just get him and Cooks the ball. Now Gallup, getting 2 and 3 targets or whatever. Hey, you get 2 or 3, you get 3. Like I said, catch 2, and then they'll start back trusting you and all that. I don't know if Dak heard that. They say he listens to the show, but I told you. What did I say? Run. I need you to just get the first down, Dak. I don't want to see that silly look on my quarterback's face. I love my quarterback. I know he has it in him, and it's like since then, it might not be me. But, man, my quarterback has taken off. And if he can continue to do that for, 5 more games plus, we'll be all right. Everybody just has to join them and give everything they got, man. That's all I got to say.
That's it? That's all you got to say?
It.
All right, cool.
Man. All right. Me, man.
All right.
Run it off and go.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. All right, have a good one. I don't have any response for all those. I don't have enough paper to write all that down. I mean, it was Deron Bland. It was the safeties. It was Cooks. It Gallup. Dak. Good stuff for sure, Anthony. We'll leave it at that. I gave you a chance to go off. You did. That's great. All right, let's keep moving. Bruce in Houston.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I grew up watching Danny. I mean, he replaced my legend, idol, so to speak, as a little kid, Roger, obviously. And, everything everybody's saying is true about Danny. In fact, if he'd have just won 1 Super Bowl, and I'll get to where I'm going with that, because I put him in the same category as Romo and Dak right now. Beautiful stats, played great during the regular season, and like the caller said, Danny went to 3 championship games. Had he not had to play a guy named Joe Montana, he might have won, but we know what happened. But great quarterback. In fact, you look at some of Danny's stats, man, he broke some of Rodgers' stats. He just couldn't win the Super Bowl. And right now I want to see Dak play like this in the playoffs. And that's why I love these schedule the way it is, because if anything, we're going to be playoff ready come playoffs. Even if we lose against Buffalo or Miami, it'll hurt. Don't get me wrong. I want to be number 1 seed because I think this team is awful dangerous at home, as we've seen.
Right.
But we want to all see Dak play like that. And that's the only thing that's going to shut up Stephen A. I know you said nothing's going to shut him up, but him winning the playoff championship game or going to the Super Bowl is the only going to stop these guys. But one other thing, and I'll hang up and listen, but I wanted to call after the Thanksgiving game because I think Ferguson had a Jason Witten moment. If you remember when Jason took off on that run, his helmet flew off, but he kept running.
Yeah.
It kind of made me feel that when he did that high hurdle, and of course he started talking smack too with the defensive linebacker. I forget his name, but he's got some octane. Everybody loves that. I think he had one of those Jason Witten type moments, and hopefully he has man. If he has a half a career like Jason did, we'll be extremely happy. But
true.
I think that's why the fans wanted to, Nick, is Henry during the trade season, because that's what they're missing. Although Pollard is doing 4.2, that's not too bad for a guy his stature. But we do, as it gets colder in Buffalo and everything, that's when you do need a big boy that can run between the tackles. But I say keep going. I hope McCarthy makes some good decisions. I agree with you. He messed up on that one. He should have ran, but it didn't cost him. But hopefully down the road it don't cost him. But good show, Nick. Have a good week, brother.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. And I think, like we've said, I think McCarthy would probably, I don't want to say learn from it. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time, and so it was just a feel. I mean, you just sometimes you just have a feel that let's go for it. Let's kick the field goal here. Let's punt. Let's you have to play that way. I think the way he's playing, he's calling this game. He thinks that Dak throwing the ball in the back corner to CeeDee Lamb is going to. It's not 50-50 at that point. He's going to either catch the ball, or the way that they're calling it, it's going to be a pass interference because they can't really guard him. So, that's probably what he was thinking. But, me personally, I would have run it once, maybe twice. If you get close enough, I think I might have tried to run it for the second time to put the game away. And if not, you've got him pinned way back with about a minute or so to go. All right, let's go. Let's kind of text question here, and then we're going to go to break. This is Carl from Nashville. Do you see this upcoming game being a Seattle-like shootout? Yes, I could see that. I don't think the defenses are playing that great right now. The Cowboys. It was relatively a shootout. I mean, the Cowboys could have scored there at the end. It would have been like 29-28. That's pretty high scoring. But they didn't. They didn't score, obviously. But I think that the Cowboys have the ability to get up into the 30s. I think Philly does as well, and that's shootout-like. I think when you get to this point. All right, let's go to a break real quick on Cowboys Storyline. We've got one caller holding. We'll be right back here on Cowboys Storyline.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Cowboys fans, after that move, we've just coined the term Rowdy Replay. Let's roll back the tape.
Okay, there's our mascot Rowdy cheering on the boys. And now he's on his phone, on his Bank of America mobile banking app?
Staying on top of his finances with his virtual financial assistant, Erica.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive. Cowboys fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can't-stop-banking.
Erica is only available in the English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time. But what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you. Back to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline. Let's go back to the phone lines. We have Isaiah. He's in Jacksonville, Florida. Isaiah.
Hello there, Nick.
How you doing?
Here we go.
First time caller?
Here we go. No, I on this channel.
That counts.
But the other one, I talked to you once before.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Like I said the other day, like this is a new count. We're talking about Cowboys Storyline. You could call Hanging with the Boys 100 times a week. It doesn't matter. But this is the first time here. And if you just want to hear the Here We Go, I'm sure Chris will play it for you. So, anyways,
yeah.
All right. What do you got?
But I want to tell you a story. Back when the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl in Atlanta.
Okay.
I had a sign posted up. You remember when it was on CBS?
Mm-hmm.
And I had CBS highlighted.
Okay.
And it had Cowboys coming back for the Super Bowl. But we lost to Atlanta in Atlanta. But I had this sign up, Cowboys coming back for the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's all I want to say. And it's on CBS this time. Cowboys coming back for the Super Bowl.
So you're talking about 93 season, in season.
Yeah.
And then, but you said we'll be back for the Super Bowl. And you were right. What happened in that game against? There's two things that happened in that game that were memorable. What happened in that? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember because I was upset because we lost that game to Atlanta. But all I was worried about was putting my sign up saying we're coming back for the Super Bowl in this stadium.
well, it happened. It happened. The thing about that is that was the game before the Ice Bowl with Leon Lett and all that. That was the game before, and Emmett got hurt in that game. And he didn't really play much in that Miami game the next week. Emmett got hurt. So that was a tough thing, and that probably did not help them at all. And then also, Deion Sanders played wide receiver a little bit on offense and scored a touchdown against the Cowboys in that game. And so I'm sure Jerry saw that and said, man, if we ever get that guy, we need to put him on offense. So anyways, just one of those midseason losses that you don't think matters a whole lot. But I guarantee you, They probably said, hey, if we do what we need to do, we'll be back here in Atlanta. And they did.
That's what I'm talking about. And, hey, I got a score for the game.
Okay.
Cowboys 35, Eagles 7. We're going to give them 7.
Oh. One of those kind of parties.
Because we go mop the floor with the Eagles.
Wow.
In Big D.
All right, Isaiah, appreciate that. If the Cowboys beat the Eagles 35-7 or in that range of 28 points, like you said, you better call the show on Monday, and you need to just gloat, and you can just say it. I told you so, because I don't know if I see a blowout, but at this point, nothing would surprise me too much. You know, it happens to teams. Every team has it. Every team goes through that period, even though that they're winning a lot of games. You go through that stretch, and sometimes it's more than one game. It's 2 to 3 games. You know, the Cowboys kind of had a 2 out of 3 stretch where it was like, wow, it was, you know, Arizona and then New England and then the Niners, and you know, at that point you're really questioning things. So I think I could see Philly still haven't gotten over things yet. But of course the Cowboys will have their attention here, and I think it's going to be a great game. I'd be surprised if it's 35-7. But man, I'd be fine with it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. All right, let's go to. Do we move? We got Brian in Kansas City.
That's it.
All right, Brian in Kansas City. We just lost another Missouri guy, but now we got another one here. All right, Brian in Kansas City. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Nick. How are you?
I'm fine. What do you got?
Hey, so before I say anything about the Eagles game, I want to say Saturday is the 124th meeting of Army-Navy, so I wanted to say go Navy, beat Army.
All right.
Got that in there. So
every year I say, it's the only game on, and and I'm like, I'm gonna watch it, and I try to watch it, and I just can't. I don't know. It's just.
It's not the most talented. Those are not the most talented football programs on the planet. That's for sure.
But obviously, that what they're doing is on a different level than any of us, and the game matters so much. It matters so much to them.
It does.
I'll say this: one year, we were in Philadelphia, flying into Philadelphia, and the game was there, and we were driving past it as we were going to the hotel Saturday night, and the game was on 4 or 5 o'clock, and we passed the stadium, and the game's there, and I was thinking, man, how cool would that be to go to that game? But no, I try to watch it, and there's so much triple option you can take, know.
Now, you're talking about the old Veterans Stadium, probably, right?
Maybe, but I feel like it. Did they not ever play at the Link? Did they not?
No, I was thinking based on how you were telling the story, I was thinking you were talking like this is back in the day kind of thing.
No. I mean, because I only went to the vet maybe 3 or 4 times. I mean, I want to say this was like 2007, 8, 10, something around that range.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we were playing Philly, and on a Saturday night, we were driving past it, and we saw it, yeah. So.
Right on, man. Well, so I got one thing for the Eagles game, and I got an old-timer for you that I think was there the year you started.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so for I said earlier in the year, this 5-game stretch was Murderer's Row, and we did the first one, and we got a little help, and now we're set up. It's all up to us.
Yeah.
This is what we asked for, right? And if the Cowboys want to change the narrative, they got to do it. They got to be the ones to say, we're going to take, and I don't think they're going to win all 5 games, but they have the chance to change the narrative that, hey, we're good enough to compete with the really good teams, Miami and the Eagles this week and that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to it. And listening to all the people talking about it, I think there's a chance that at home we can beat the Eagles. I really do. I think that we're playing that much better than we were the first time.
I agree with that. I mean, I think the Cowboys should win this game.
Yeah, I really think we're playing that much better than we were, and we made so many mental mistakes that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'd have won that game if we'd have just cut those in half.
Yeah.
So my old timer is in honor of the different branch of service, but the game this week is. Air Force Captain Chad Henning. Wanted to see if you had a story about him.
Chad Hennings. I thought you were going to say somebody else from Air Force. I thought you were going to say Bo Morgan, who was right around that time there in 98, 99, and Chan Gailey just loved him. He was never going to play for the Cowboys, but he was a running back, whatever, for Air Force. But Chad Hennings was one of those guys that I think he was drafted in 88. I think he was drafted in the Tex Schramm, Gil Brandt regime of one of those guys where, hey, he's not going to be available right now. He still has to, his duties there with the service. But when he's done, let's get him and let's put him on the team. And so that's what happened. I mean, it was the same with Roger Staubach. They got him, I think, drafted him in 88. I think he started playing 91 or 92 for the Cowboys, and he lasted, 8 or 9 years. And so good, solid player. I didn't really cover him that much. Actually, he was done. Maybe my first year, he was wrapping up his career, but he still comes around a lot. I just saw him actually like last week walking by with the people from community relations. He does things all the time. He's always been great in the community. So it still looks like he could play a little bit. Honestly, big guy. It looks good. So I don't know a whole lot about Chad Hennings, but I know a lot of people that do that they speak the world of him. So and he was a good player for this team. So, all right. Thanks for the call, Brian. Thank you. Let's go to San Antonio. We got Big Al is in San Antonio.
Big Al dropped us.
Oh, Big Al. Big Al dropped us. So, all right. So, right now.
Phone lines are open.
Open lines. You heard it. Open lines. All right. 888-855-2297. We got about 8 minutes to go. I mean, technically, we could end the show because, we said that this was going to be a 30-minute show or so. We'll see how it goes. And so usually you get to this point, it's like, hey, it's time to wrap this thing up. But I can keep talking forever if you we want to. But we go. We'll see if we get another. I do have a text question that I did not answer, so it's a good time to do that. All right, Doug in Florida. He says, I feel confident we'll win this game. My concerns are penalties and our defense getting to Hurts for sacks, pressure. Yes, and him out of the pocket is dangerous. Your thoughts? Sure. I mean, Jalen Hurts is a great, he's a great player. And despite what one person is saying, I think it's just one. I haven't heard another one that would suggest that maybe he needs to be benched. I did hear that. I think it's David Carr, maybe, on one of those shows, and said that Marcus Mariota gives them a better chance to win. Hey, I'm all for it. Go for it. I think it's ridiculous, but you know what? If the Eagles want to start Marcus Mariota, do it. Let's try it. I don't think that would be a good decision for them, but I don't think anyone in Dallas would hate that 9-year veteran journeyman guy that's playing. He's been a decent player. He's athletic. He could play, but I'll take my chances with Marcus Mariota and his 34-40 lifetime career record over Jalen Hurts. I would do that. I don't think Philly's going to do that. I do think Hurts is banged up a little bit. And surprise, surprise, you take your starting franchise quarterback, you basically let him lead with this helmet forward into 7, 8 guys trying to hurt him. Yeah, you're probably going to get banged up. I mean, that's what's going to happen. But that's what they choose to do because that play works. But it also there's backfire to everything. All right, let's go to Kurt in Arkansas. Kurt.
Hey, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. What's up? What's on your mind?
Well, Cowboys going to beat the brakes off them boys.
All right. Yeah.
And my old timer is Dandy Don.
Okay. Don Meredith. All right. Well, why do you think Cowboys are going to beat the brakes off of the Eagles?
Well, just because they will.
Okay.
They're at home.
Oh, okay.
They're at home, and they're 14-0.
Okay.
And they're going to continue that winning streak.
Fair enough. I mean, I can't argue with you on that one. So, all right, you heard it from Kurt. All right, well, Thanks for the call. I mean, what else do you need? I mean, why are they going to win? Because they will. All right. Sounds like sounds like, me talking to my kids. Like, well, why? Because I said. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So, all right. And sometimes you have to say that. I do believe in that. Sometimes it's because I said so. Shut up. I mean, like, not all the time. You got to have reasoning, but every once in a while, when you just ask 8 times in a row, the answer is because I said so. And that's what Kurt just said. The Cowboys are going to win because he said so. All right. Let's go to Washington, D.C. for Kristen, our next caller. Kristen in Washington, D.C.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I know this is first-time call.
Oh, yeah. Long-time listener.
All right.
There you go.
Here we go.
I'm a big fan of the break, but I had to branch out a little bit when you decided that you were going to do something new, which I think is great.
Thank you.
And I listen to other shows as well, but the break is sort of the one.
The break's the one. It's still the one.
Yeah, but
it's been there the longest. It gets the most views. It's still the one. It's still the one until it isn't. Just kidding.
You're right. Exactly. Don't tell Derek.
He's listening.
You don't want to get to his head too much.
No, too late.
Anyway, so I'm not really sure where this call is going to go other than, so I've been a long-time listener and huge Cowboy fan. I was born in Dallas. I lived there till I was 8. And then we moved to D.C. when I was 8. So I was raised in D.C. And when I was 13, my mother sat my sister and I down and said, I've got something to tell you. And I was like, oh, no, someone died. Something's happened. And what she had to tell us was she's decided she's going to be a big-time Redskins fan. So she's no longer going to be a Cowboys fan. She's going to be a Redskins fan. And, oh, by the way, she's going to get season tickets. So I was like, you do you, Mom. I'm going to stay a Cowboys fan. And that's kind of where it's been. I moved to Maryland when I was in my 20s, got married, had my kids there. And my son is, unfortunately, a Cowboys fan, too. So, or I think fortunately, but
unfortunately, yeah, okay.
He gets so much grief. And where I live in Maryland, really the biggest fan, it's the Ravens and the Washington are the 2 main teams. And then after that, it's the Eagles and it's Pittsburgh. So those are the main teams from where I live. I live on the eastern shore of Maryland.
Okay.
So I'm like kind of equidistant from Philadelphia to Baltimore to D.C.
Wow.
Anyway, my son now goes to college just outside of Philadelphia, it's in the suburbs of Philadelphia. So it's I've gone up there to see a couple games with him, but we have to be sort of not at the stadium, but we have to be sort of incognito.
So you never sat your kids down in the middle, and said, "Hey, I'm switching over. I'm switching to the Eagles or to the Dolphins or whatever." You haven't done that.
No. And to be fair to my children, to my son, I said, "Look, you don't have to be a Cowboys fan. You can be a Ravens fan. You can. I mean, I really would prefer you not to be a Washington fan, but you can be a Ravens fan because that's just kind of we're really close to Baltimore and." He just wanted to be what I was because, his dad didn't really watch football. It was always me. And we've been to a ton of – so my mom did have season tickets. We went to a ton of Cowboys Washington games, at FedEx Field, which is horrible. But so he's been to a bunch of the games. And I just remember one game that we saw, I don't know if you'll remember. I think it was in D.C. and we won. It was with Romo. I think it's the one where Romo maybe broke some ribs, but he kept playing.
Yeah. 2013 or 2012 or 2013. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, came back, won the game with Murray. Yeah.
Gosh, we were there. We had the best seats, and I just remember Des catching that ball, and I swear, my son and I had tears in our eyes. It was just like that kind of thing. And that's, fandom really brings them those kinds of emotions, brings families together. So that's just kind of what I said. It's something that my son and I have had together that really brings us together. People don't realize, that it has such an emotional impact on people, just being a fan. And it doesn't matter how good or bad they are, you're still going to be a fan. You might get really frustrated with what's going on or you might be elated with how well a team's doing. But, at the end of the day, you're just a fan. You're going to keep supporting them.
Right.
So that's sort of it. I know that was a long.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the call, Kristen. Appreciate that.
Sure.
And thanks for staying with it.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we can win this.
Yeah.
I think we can win, but, like you, I've been a fan long enough, your heart gets broken. I think we really have to win this game. I think not in terms of the playoffs, but if we can't win this game, don't see how we can really go far in the playoffs unless something dramatic changes.
Right.
So that's it.
All right. Well,
thanks for taking the call.
Thank you, Kristen. Appreciate that. We're gonna sneak one more caller in here. We got Kevin in New Jersey, still on the line. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Nick. Yeah.
How you doing? Sorry, we're up against the time, but what do you got for us?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for taking my call. Love the show. Best show you guys got.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Big Cowboy fan since the 70s. My older brother turned me into a fan and got to enjoy the 90s when I was in college. I went to college down in Philly. Needless to say, I really, really hate the Eagles, so I'm looking forward to hopefully a win this weekend. I just want to say my all-time favorite Cowboy, Jason Witten. I think he's a terrific player and even a better person, so something awesome. That I got 4 sons as well.
Yeah.
And they're all Cowboy fans.
Nice.
And I feel bad, because I had all this fun in college, and they've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and I really need it to happen at some point because every Sunday is a tradition for us to get together, watch the game, and I'm just looking forward to beating the Eagles. I can't stand them. My wife's from Philly. Her family are all Eagle fans, so there's even more juice in that. But just looking forward to a win and letting my sons enjoy the glory that I experienced in the 90s. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
so, thanks.
for sure. All right, well, how do you think the Cowboys will win? Real quick, I'll give you. What do you think they have to do to make this win?
I think it's going to be a wacky game. I think division games typically are.
Yeah.
Eagles. Man, good team. I don't want to discredit them.
Sure.
But I think it's going to be a wacky game. I think something funky is going to happen at the end of the game, but I do think they're going to pull it out. I can't say how exactly, but I guess maybe that's just me wishful thinking,
All right. Well, we'll see. I expect some craziness, like you said. It always seems to happen that way, and why not here in this one, Cowboys and Eagles Sunday night. All right.
Yeah, give me a late field goal to win it.
Late field goal to win it. All right. Preferably Aubrey. All right. Sounds great, Kevin. Thanks for the call in New Jersey. All right. We've got 12 calls. That was a good mix there. You guys seem ready. I mean, I think everyone kind of has the same feeling. Cowboys have a chance, should win this game. A couple people saying maybe a must win, and I think not from a standing standpoint, maybe mentally. You got to show that you can win a game like this, and these are the type of teams you're going to see in the playoffs. Of course, maybe not at home, but you're going to see teams that are as good as the Eagles, maybe better, maybe a little bit worse. You got to show you can beat them, and I think this is more about the Cowboys showing themselves more than anybody else. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. They got to know and believe that they got to win this game, and that's where it starts Sunday. All right, you guys, great calls. Appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline. See you.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?